Rinpoche, and the board of the Sangha. I just went to an event this afternoon, and I'm hoping finally get a little help. But having been homeless for 1,469 days, my life is in jeopardy. A 56-year-old woman whose mother died at 62 of a heart attack. And she was homeless for 4 years, 1 week, and a day. Rinpoche knows about year-long productive isolation. So do I. My story changes everything. I need some time to talk to Rinpoche about help with what is right with me. I need his mentoring so that I can stay clear of the trauma that befalls everyone who's been tortured. My torture has a number of aspects, like what Rinpoche endured. And yet, not anywhere near the heinous evil that caused his. What's causing my torture is the busyness, the US of hypocrisy. There is a mind virus, I call it a hashtag neurodemic, of plantation capitalism. If we don't radically change the global hive mind of all 8 billion humans across every nook and cranny of Earth, we are going to self-extinct this species in approximately 20 years. Rinpoche, we'll be talking. Should have had my props. About ginger cheese. Rinpoche, I met you, I knew you since you came to her book signing at CSA. I heard your story. I need a proverbial helicopter of networking, of building trust with the Sangha, getting a few meals, getting some of my basic needs met. Right now I'm asking, I need to have this vehicle maintained. I need to have an oil change. It's been 3 years. My tires are practically out of air. I don't have a credit card, so I can't put it in myself, and I'm autistic, and I'll do that. I can't give this to a place. I have to have one of the ones that drive through and let you stay in your driver's seat, which the closest I know is Santa Cruz. If there's a closer one, okay. If we can help me get my oil change, that would be really... And then Rinpoche, and I can do, is focus on my presentation to the team, where I talk about this book, The Universe in a Single Atom. I hold myself to the standards of being able to talk to His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, about consciousness, and having the opportunity to contribute to actually catalyze a theory of consciousness that unites all 8 billion, all sentient beings. I have the capacity, with help, I am right now alone in the world. 2 asterisks, 2 retired women who I've been surviving on $150 a month. My strength, my resilience, my integrity. That's what I focus on. That's attributable to having a mind that knows the truth. We are all African ancestrally. That's a t-shirt. That is a thing I like to call evolutionary logic plus love intertwined. That's one of the heuristics of what I'm going to be able to give the universe, the antidote to money matters most masculinity of stuff-centric thinking, is life-centric thinking, a theory of consciousness that unites all life on Earth, from single-celled amoebas to us. I see how it works, and I could tell you, one of the reasons the Dalai Lama has been so important to me as a teacher, because I am a non-theist without a community, is I see in him one of the few role models of what happened to me when I discovered how to self-engineer a Kundalini awakening. So that's over in the Hindu tradition. I would love to know if Tibetan Buddhism has a concept. But what it is to me, and this is Rinpoche had said just a little bit, I would love to talk to you about helping with your health. We have chemistry and biochemistry. We need, in the new science, the next scientific revolution is to have electromagnetism and bio-electromagnetism. The philosophical hypothesis of bio-electromagnetism solves consciousness and provides a unified body, mind, and soul integrated conception of humanness. And to be quite frank, not only does it concur with everything I've read about Tibetan Buddhism, and also entirely everything that BKS Iyengar, godfather of yoga, James Brown, included in the mix. My work in the world is stand-up philosophy. It's to be the wise feminine philosopher who teaches the world how to think in perfect harmony, the philosophical method. I believe all indigenous cultures must be immediately preserved. I think the Tibetan culture is the tipping point. I would like to talk very sincerely. I don't know who to bring you up here. The Book of Joy. I have an idea, and it's actually ginger tea. And the pictures, I'll talk to Rinpoche about. I'll show you the pictures. I'll show you what. But the Book of Hope. The Book of Hope, the Book of Joy, what we can do to get me the job I deserve is right? His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Douglas Abrams. He is our Santa Cruz neighbor. Maybe y'all know him. Could be. But if not, I want to build the trust, get a little, just right again, asking for money to go get my oil changed in Santa Cruz and see if I could talk to him to get a book deal. I have a lot of IP to put in the book deal, a lot of this, a lot of that. The book of Life-Centric Thinking. That's what belongs to all humanity. We start to see how life is united in the parlance of current bleeding edge science ported through the philosophical method with somebody who has experienced now severe dehumanization. My time with Rinpoche will be about learning how to process all of the trauma right now so I can be free and clear. I was before I got to Pacific Grove. I could be there for everyone. I had disappeared. The criminalization of a couple of vigilantes and every level of law enforcement around this bay that has criminalized me for sleeping. I think the way I express myself is very much about not repressing the current chronic trauma stress disorder. We got all this stuff about PTSD, but nobody's solving current trauma. Just one aspect of my work. I'm asking Manjushri Dharma Center to be my first sponsor for my work. I call this a right livelihood intervention, and if we can get me a stage and get me more people, get the ripples happening. I'm always going to mention the first people who invest in my work. I think it's pretty innovative. And back to that PG police situation. Akusu, my civil rights. I have experienced constitutional felonies again and again and again. Got it on video. City of PG could be sued for sums. I want restorative justice. I want them to appoint me, the very first ever philosopher laureate. They've already had a poet laureate. Get somebody to fund it. And I want them to pay to film a small video, short, 15, 20 minutes, feature your sponsorship. I just met at Monterey Institute of International Studies a mom with an autistic daughter who's in cinematography. And my first thought was, well, how do I pay this child? City of PG owe me a lot of money. And by the way, the state of California, Governor Newsom, I need to put a lien. I'm supposed to be getting like 42 grand of services every year. That's 100 grand right there. And talking about it, I'm not specifically these things. Sorry, I go on. I have hyperlexia. This is a medical condition. So this has been the Zenzi. It's easier for me when I'm with people and I can modulate with responses. Looks of... I've only had myself to talk to. Despite trying every day to make friends, to help people, I've only had myself to talk to. 4 years, 1 week, and 1 day. That's the 411. Cultural appreciation to Mary J. Blige. Hashtag, how to demolish racism by 2030. It's been 5 years. I can still do that. Lots of ideas. Harmony.